So continuing where I left off in my absolute value inequalities video, what I wanted to do this time was I wanted to do an example where instead of having a less than or equal to sign, I wanted to use a greater than or equal to sign and show you what that solution is going to look like. So like before, we're going to have two different solutions. So I'm going to write down my number 1 right here, and I'm going to write down my second solution over here. So notice the only difference between the first example and this one is that the inequality sign is different. This time I have a greater than or equal to. So that's going to come into play when we do our two solutions and when we graph on a number line. Okay? Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take whatever's inside the absolute value bars out. So the x minus 2 is going to come out, and then everything is going to stay the same for my first solution. So the greater than or equal to sign comes down, and the positive 3 is going to come down as well. And then we can solve for x right here. But now looking over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the inequality sign just like I did up here, and I'm going to flip the sign on the number as well. So the x minus 2 is going to come out of inequalities, and the greater than or equal to sign is going to flip. It's going to become a less than or equal to. And then instead of having a positive 3, I'm going to flip that so that it becomes a negative 3. So now I've got my two solutions, and I'm ready to solve them both for x. So to get x by itself, I've got to add 2 to both sides. So I add 2 right here, and I add 2 on this side as well. Over here, I'm going to do the exact same thing, adding 2 on both sides of the inequality. Alright, so for my first solution, the x is going to come down, and the greater than or equal to sign is going to come down as well. And 3 plus 2 is going to give me 5. So I'm done with this one. Over here, the x is going to come down, the negative 2 and the positive 2 cancel each other out, the inequality sign comes down, and then negative 3 plus 2 is going to give me negative 1. So now I've got my two solutions right where I want them to be. And instead of using the word and up here, in between here, since I have a greater than sign, I'm going to use the word or. And that's going to help me visualize what's going to happen on the number line down here. So now that I've got my two solutions, I'm ready to draw my number line. I draw a horizontal straight line from left to right, and I put arrows on both ends. Okay? My 0 is going to go in the middle, as always, and I'm going to put down my 5 over here, and I'm going to put down my negative 1 right here. Okay, so now I'm going to switch colors to blue, and I'm going to put down my closed dots. I'm going to put a dot at negative 1, and I'm going to put a dot at positive 5. So now the question is, which way do I shade from the 5? Well, looking at this solution up here, I'm shading greater than 5. That means any number that's greater than or equal to 5, I need to shade. So that means I need to shade to the right to get all the numbers that are greater than 5. So I'm going to shade to the right. And then when I get to the arrow, I'm going to shade that as well. So that means 5, and any number that's bigger than 5 really can be a solution. Now I look to the negative 1. Which way am I going to shade from the negative 1? Well, you can look at the inequality sign. It tells me less than. So that means any number that's less than negative 1 needs to be shaded. So that means I'm going to shade to the left. And when I get to the arrow, I'm going to shade that as well. And there we go. That's how you shade the number line. That's absolute value inequalities. I hope that helped you guys out.